Okay, we got a chauffeur, eh?
This is good. This is working out good.
Dad. Got his van tours over Sydney. Oh, double cam! We got here to it.
Come on in. Get you guys to wear a high-vis vest.
Alright, we made it down to Turbosmart. This is Richard, one of the engineers down here. Thanks very much for making the time to show us around.
No worries at all.
It's a product that we've always used in New Zealand from all of our builds, so it's really, really cool to come down and actually see how you guys manufacture it, eh? So thank you again.
No worries at all. Very happy to show how we make stuff here.
Mean.
Yeah.
Get into it, I guess.
Let's go through. So, we've got 15 CNC machines here. A variety of different machines depending on, I guess, how complex the job needs to be. Our material normally fills up that rack over there, and we work off an ERP system that looks after the stock levels that we need to hold to ensure that we can meet demand as quickly as possible. So that material gets loaded into the machines. They've all got automatic bar feeders, so this shop can operate 24/7. And most of the time it can operate in a 24-hour period unmanned. And that's the way we've sort of set up the shop to be able to do that. Once the parts are made, so the program goes into the machine has set up the machine to make the part gets made, gets washed, and then it goes into that center section over there. So that center section over there holds all of our raw parts that have been made that have not been anodized yet. And then we take some of those parts off to get anodized, and they then go over to our assembly area.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So you do that all in-house here?
We do that. Well, not the anodizing. The anodizing is with someone that we've been doing business with for a very long time. They know our work. They know the quality that we're chasing, and we're sort of really good that way. But our system sort of focuses on ensuring that we can meet demand as quickly as possible. So we've got raw material to make parts ready to get anodized parts ready to build, parts on our shelves ready to fill our subsidiaries ready to stock our customers. So as they sell, we ship to our subsidiaries, we build the parts, we manufacture the parts, we order raw material. So we're not sort of reacting to sales, we're more, just keeping on top of things.
Yeah. Do you do, so obviously you do your own wastegates here, your own fuel pressure regulators, blow valves, all the etc. Do you do your own casting and stuff here as well?
No, we don't. We have a few partners that look after that for us. Look, we focus on things that we're good at. Now, manufacturing in Australia is not an easy thing to do. Compared to the world, it's quite an expensive thing to do. We need to be smart about how we make our products. We're very heavily focused on quality and performance, so how we do things is to still ensure that quality and the performance of the product is kept at an industry-leading standard.
Yeah, totally understandable.
Yeah. So have a walk through and see some of our parts. We've got a couple of Busan machines. They're more simple. They're twin spindle, 3 or 4 axis lathes. And then we move on to our Akumas and our Mazaks. They're more of a multitasking machines. So a couple of those machines, actually 4 of them have full 5-axis simultaneous capabilities, 80 tool magazines. So for us to get a new job running on the machine is now a 20-minute process, where back in the old days, it would almost be a whole day, because the machine is older technology. There were more processes to get it set up. Now we're sort of, these machines have been programmed to do what they need to do. All the tools are loaded into it. We have quick change spindle liners and collet chucks. We've got soft jaws, and the guys just know. Change a couple of these parts over, load this program in, and press go and away you go.
Yeah. How long do you usually have certain machines running certain programs? Do you have is it like a day run or a couple days runs, or making certain products on certain machines?
It really depends on the part. Some machines can run, for a couple of weeks. Some can run for a couple of days before they swap over. But our system will tell us how big the run needs to be to ensure that our stock levels are
depending on what the demand is at the time.
Correct.
Do you find a fluctuation in the demand during the year, like certain things sell better at certain times, or always consistent? Or
No, it actually fluctuates quite a fair bit, especially in different regions of the world. You've got different racing seasons, summer, winter. That definitely has an effect. We've also got show seasons, which happens at the end of the year, where a lot of the industry does quiet down. So there are fluctuations. However, our system, with the years of data that it's got to go back on, can adjust for those fluctuations.
True. Yeah. That's very cool.
We're quite heavily reliant on this automation system, so that we take that human error out of it.
Makes sense, eh?
And it's more data driven.
Definitely.
So this is one of our old machines. She's still hanging in there, but we got this machine, I would say, probably 19 years ago. We used to have a lot more of this style of machine, but as they get older, it just costs a lot more time and money to keep them up to date. So we get the newer machines where we don't need to maintain them as much. It actually costs us less in the long run. And they're more accurate.
Certain products on these older machines.
More simpler products that don't require that really high tolerance. So the machines are geared up to do specific jobs. So when we order a machine, we also look at, well, what parts do we want it to make? What sort of volume do we need it to have? And what extra capacity do we have? If we plan that right, we can stay on top of our stock level.
How long have you been in this building?
I think it's been 10 years. 10 years. Could be a little bit shorter, but it's all a bit of a blur when we moved here.
Have you been with the business for that whole period of time as well?
Yes. Yeah, so I've seen the business from where it was to what it is now.
Very cool.
19 and a half years ago.
That's so cool.
It's changed quite a lot. But I'll never forget our roots, where we came from.
Definitely. I remember the old show scene back in the day with the old bulbs and stuff, It's come a long way.
It has come a long way. And we've had to really refine our processes to ensure that we can stay on top of things.
Definitely.
And the industry changes so fast.
Definitely.
So we're constantly adjusting. 1 week we have a process that we're going, okay, this is mint for creating this level of quality, and then the next week it's obsolete because our volume had to increase twice, to double, and now that process is falling over. So we're constantly trying to evolve and make sure that we're in the forefront of it.
How long does it roughly for you, because you've released quite a few new products recently, how long does it roughly take you to design an R&D before you put that product on the market?
Depends on the product. Normally we have certain deadlines that we try and meet, especially around show season, where we're always chasing to have new products on display there.
The RI and stuff like that.
So that's normally a hard stick in the sand. And then we'll work backwards from that. We have a pipeline of products that we'd like to release, and we work with relevant people in the business to go, well, where should we actually put our resources in and get prepared for this year for show season that will have the most amount of impact.
I love the innovation you guys have been putting in lately.
Thank you.
It's really cool to see.
That's the V-band clamp out of our raceport.
I've seen a few of these over my time. Such a nice finish. So does it get any surface treatment from that?
It does get anodized, but right now, after this process, it gets washed and then it goes into our rumbler to just remove some of those fine burrs. This product we used to hand deburr back in the old days, and the volume, we just couldn't cope with the volume. Having a person sit there for days on end trying to deburr, we just couldn't keep up. So, looking at new technologies in rumbling and post-machining processes to ensure that we can cope with the volume that's coming out. Now we just dump them in the rumbler, we walk away, half an hour later, we've got a finished part. It's great.
Does that start off as a 75mm round or 70mm round or something?
100mm round. 88.9mm bar. So you can see the bar stocks in here. So it's just a magazine, and we just load bars into it.
Yeah.
That's cool, though.
So the guys will calculate, well, how long will the machine need to run for? How many parts is that? How much bar material is that? And then they feed the machine accordingly. Yeah. And because we cut aluminium, or predominantly aluminium, it doesn't wear out the tools very quickly.
Yeah.
So we're confident in the machine running for days on end without requiring to change inserts and readjust tolerancing. Yeah.
Do most of your products share the same material grades, like aluminium, or do you change it quite a bit between the different products?
In terms of aluminium, most of it is the same.
Yeah.
With stainless steel parts, yes, there are varying grades, depending on what the part needs to do. Yeah.
What's your predominant alloy grade? Is it 601 or something like that?
6061 is one of them, 6262 is another. Depends on the part. So 6061 is weldable, but 6262 is not. So things that need to be welded, we make out of 6061. Good thing about 6262 is that it machines very well. So that's how, I guess, we're tailor-made, we're choosing the right material to ensure that we make a reliable quality part. Yeah.
So like the wastegate top hats and that, for instance, will be the 6.2.
Yeah.
And then your blind valve flat weld on flanges, and that will be the
6061. Yeah. But we have the ability to use both. So it doesn't really matter. But of course our preference is if we can use a material that's a bit more consistent, because with 6061 it can get difficult to machine because it can get very stringy, and what that does is it affects the runtime of the machine overnight, right? So you can come back and you've programmed the machine to cut the material to create this level of swarf, but parts of the bar can change because they're working in a band of chemical composition within that bar. So sometimes you'll get to a bit of the bar where it's a bit extra gummy and the swarf doesn't chip, and then it starts wrapping itself around tools and it'll alarm out the machine. So we sort of got to juggle that because we don't have people here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's the thing where, in other places you can have that. You can have a night shift. We don't have that luxury here, so we've had to ensure that our machine shop is very efficient in doing what it needs to do.
Different processes for different products.
Correct. And it's a long learning process.
Oh, I bet,
And we failed a lot.
You got to fail a lot to get there, though, don't you?
Correct.
I'm still in the fail stage. I'll let you know when I get to it.
Is that something in like Australian law within industry, or is that something within the company that you don't have people staffing it 24/7?
It's a bit of both. It's actually quite hard to find people, willing people to do this work overnight. So what do? If you can't find people, then you've got to find them. Got to do what you need to do to move forward, right? So pretty much all the parts live in these grey trays from when they're made to when they get used.
And how long roughly do like your main products sit on this?
We work on a 5-week cycle. So we try and hold enough raw material to make a month's worth of stock, month's worth of this, ready to get anodized, a month's worth of anodized parts ready to be built, a month's worth of finished goods ready to stock our subsidiaries having a month's worth of stock to supply the customer. So we've got a nice big buffer. So through COVID, we were able to cope with all these interruptions with supply because we've got this massive elastic band that we could ride out the storm while organising in the background how to keep our material topped up.
Did you find your sales increased over COVID? A lot of other big businesses like Kelper Cams and stuff said the same thing, eh?
Well, think about it. Most people that mod their cars, they all say the same thing, don't have enough time. Well, guess what? You got a shit ton of time at home. Yeah, so that's our machining area. And then we get to our assembly area.
So your turbochargers, are they manufactured overseas, aren't they?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So they already turned up in the box here, or do you assemble them here, like put the housings and combos on here?
We do some of that here. We also quality check here. We do a lot of that stuff here to ensure that we're still having a quality product.
Turbosmart names on it for a reason.
100%. So over there you can see stock of turbochargers. Yep, so we're trying to service the market like we service our normal products to ensure that it's ready to go all the time.
Have you got any reverse rotation G35s in stock yet, or?
Don't know. Maybe.
I'll be keen, I'll take one home.
Yeah, so this is our straight gate E-gate assembly line where we put it all together. So most of the assembly benches are set up per product line, and it normally works on a left to right sort of deal where it gets assembled on the left hand side, gets tested in the middle, gets packed on the right hand side, ready to go to our shelves. Yeah. So this is straight gate E-gate, that side's Gen V wastegate range. Gen 4's over there, fuel pressure regs are down.
Do you do all the wastegate valves and everything here as well, or?
No. We used to do that sort of stuff, but it's better to get people that are professionals.
And I can imagine something like this would take a long time to machine, right, as well. So you wouldn't be able to you'd have to have a big warehouse to be able to put them.
Well, this is a one-piece forged valve. We don't have forging equipment here.
Yeah.
That is precision ground on the stem, hard chrome plated, all of that. So we partner up with someone to make a quality part for us. Yeah. Because we have the ability to make everything, and most of the time what we do is we make everything, but then we need to be smart with our supply chain and our designs to ensure that we're still meeting quality, but we have to be effective at actually manufacturing it.
And something like that would take another warehouse to be able to do that as well.
Yeah.
So space becomes a huge issue.
And trying to do forgings and all of that in Wetherill Park.
Yeah.
It's
Do you assemble the rigs here as well?
Yeah, the rigs are over here. Yeah.
Have you got the wastegate tester here that you put the wastegates through? How many cycles you put them through?
No, so we actually have another facility down the road. We had a rental that we were renting because engineering used to be in that back left-hand corner. Then we put a machine there. So they moved into the center, we put a machine there. They moved to here, and then we put all of this stuff here. Moved to the front, and then it was easier for us to just rent a property for them to do their design work, be able to lay out their tools and stuff like that. And we recently bought another property which is about 600 or 700 square meters down the road, where we've got a dyno, we've got 3D scanners, 3D printers, their own CNC equipment, car hoists, everything there for them to do R&D. And it only comes here when it's a finished product. When it's very close to getting to a finished product. Because before, what would happen is they would interrupt our production schedule because the machine's set up and they're doing R&D. Well, we can't chop and change the program. So then we had a lot of downtime, and it meant we couldn't keep up with production. So doing it this way, they can get it to a point where, okay, this is an approved product. We're really close. We just need to tweak a couple of things. Then it comes here. These guys go through their processes here and give feedback on, you know what, I don't like that width of a groove because my tooling's going to not be reliable. And they start to refine it to a point where it's production ready. Comes into assembly. Assembly do the same thing. They start looking through the process and go, well, you know, if that thread was a bit coarser, if you put a hex on it, we could hold it up. They start getting it through our assembly process here before it becomes a finished product. Yeah.
Cool.
Down this way. Got
Do you spin up all your own dash fittings as well for all your fuel rigs and that?
say that
Like
again.
all the 1.8 MPT
Yes.
to dash 6 fittings, they're all
Yes.
spun up there as well?
Yes. Yeah. So we're really good at doing aluminium parts.
Yeah.
So we focus on those aluminium parts, and parts that we're not so good at, we'll outsource. Yeah.
Makes sense, doesn't it?
Or there's certain things that we need to hold to a very high tolerance, and then we'll make it in-house. So it's picking and choosing to ensure that we're efficient at what we do. Yeah. So this is the OPR area where we make our oil pressure regs, modular blocks. Let's see. See all the different components here for our oil pressure regs.
Is that the V2, is it?
No, that is a oil filter.
Because you do that as a V2's pressure and filter now, eh?
Yeah. So the V2 is an inline. That's probably not it, but essentially you get the point.
Yeah.
Where there's a valve inside and it's all in line, no
That's
return.
pretty
So
cool.
very easy to mount compared to the V1. But the V1 was something didn't exist in the market,
No, not at all.
and it was sort of like a yardstick on, well, if we did this, like a fuel pressure reg without certain I guess features that you don't need when doing an oil pressure regulator for your turbocharger, it'll work. Released it to the market because it worked, but we got feedback on, well, it would be better if we didn't have a return line, if pressure was, all these things, and then we went back to the drawing board. We're going, okay, what's the feedback? How can we make this better? Then a V2 came out.
How many years of R&D would you go into that product, or how long did it take you to design that?
Not very long, actually. With the V1, what we did was we had a problem with our own 86, where we put a turbocharger on it that, you know, from factory, the FA20 runs really high oil pressure, and we had a smoking issue. So then we looked into the market, how do we make this go away? People said use restrictors. Okay, which size restrictor? Don't know, you're just gonna have to try.
Yeah.
So at the time, the guys just went, well, we just need to bleed some of that pressure off, just get a fuel pressure rig, put that on, see if the smoke goes away. Smoke went away.
Sure.
So we went, hang on a second, this doesn't exist. And that's where we went down that path of
Was
developing
there
that.
high demand for that product once it came out?
Initially, no, because it was something new. People were like, well, I just run a restrictor.
Yeah.
And then we had to educate the market on, well, why this is important.
Yeah.
And people took that on board, but at the same time they went, well, now it's a bit of a pain in the ass to install because I've got to find this return line in it.
Yeah.
Right? With that, we quickly did a V2 based on an inline system. And from that, now you've already got a line going to your turbo. It's as easy as now just taking it off your turbo feed line.
Two extra fittings.
That's it.
Yeah.
And you're done.
Yeah.
And it has the added feature of having a built-in filter.
Yeah.
So if you have a engine failure, you don't have that debris going through your
Especially when
turbo.
the prices of some of those turbos out there these days, you know, like a couple $100 part can save a lot of money, you know. So
Correct.
that's very cool. Very cool product.
Simple but effective.
Definitely.
It's cool how it came around as well.
It
Like
is.
you say, like,
Well, we're enthusiasts as well. We tinker with cars. We go through the same headaches as our customers do when it comes to modifying cars. So the way we create products is like if we were creating it for ourselves.
just got the main resources about it nowadays.
Exactly. So here's our FPR line. So all the different bodies, all the different colors.
most of them have got good stock levels in them as well still. So you guys must have a really, really good stock management system going on.
Correct. Our guys don't really need to manage it. The system manages it. We just keep we just keep an overview of do things look okay or not. We used to, back in the old days, we'd have to manually handle this, and we'd continually run out of stuff because, one person trying to manage, back then wasn't that many products, but now if you look at it, there's a lot of product. It's very hard to know. Yeah, it's a different game.
What kind of numbers of units, like just of everything, do you see going out on an average per month? Like, do you have those sorts of numbers? Or?
Depends. Every month's slightly different. We sell our bread and butter is blow-off valves. Wastegates. They're probably our two biggest ones. The OPR, we sell a lot of pressure regulators. Because if you think about it, every car with a aftermarket turbocharger could use it. You're putting a turbocharger that is, the oil system is rated differently to what every engine that turbo could potentially go on. It's different. So having an oil pressure regulator makes sense on any turbocharged application.
Saves a lot of seals,
Does. It's one of those no-brainer products. You order a turbo to make that turbo work. You need a manifold. You need a wastegate. You should put a filter on it and an oil pressure.
On sale, isn't it?
That's right.
Richard, that SKU there, I've never seen that one before.
Okay, so yes. So we do custom branded stuff for, private label stuff. So this particular one is for XR6 turbo development.
Yeah, right. So it's exclusive to them, basically.
Yeah. But most of the time, it's just engraving.
Oh, okay.
They've created a kit and they want to use our reg, but they want to make it look like it's their own. So we'll laser engrave, because we have that capability. We'll laser engrave their logo on it, but it's still from us. It'll still have our logo on it. But to make it easier for our guys to deal with it, because our guys are mass producing things, sometimes they're not looking for, hey, the logo needs to be different. So we will create a new part number with a new assembly drawing to highlight these key things so that they don't forget about them.
Yeah, makes sense. Very cool.
All right, and then we go to our blow-off valve area. So EM area on that side, race ports and diaphragm style blow-off valves on that side, compacts on that side, and BOV 5 on that side. So all of the blow-off valves in the world come from this area.
Blow-off valves?
Lots of blow-off valves.
The question is, what's your favourite blow-off valve?
I like the race port.
Yeah, I like the race port too.
Yeah. Small, simple, effective. Just works.
Yeah, definitely. So good too. You do all the wiring and stuff in-house?
Some bits we do, but we pick and choose what we should do that. Yeah. The initial runs tend to be that way, and then once we get the plug sorted, we get what we want, then we can outsource it.
Yeah.